What is going on, everybody? My name is Ethan, welcome back to HardCap Games, and what if I was a Pokemon gym leader? This is a question as old as time and has led many YouTubers to dare to ask, what if I was the manager of my own gym somewhere in the Pokemon world? We have answered this question 7 times already, and the links to all of those are down in the description below, which means that obviously today is the 8th gym. This is the last gym in your gym challenge, meaning this is what I think is the hardest gym challenge I have put in front of you. So hopefully you are ready, and if you are, let's get into it. I'm a big music and theater guy. I love listening to music. I acted on stage for a long time. I assistant direct. And when I started doing YouTube, I thought there was a chance I might be doing some music album reviews or making my own music, which is something that I actually finally did for my 200 subscriber special. If you haven't seen that, maybe go check that out. It is past Christmas at this point, but who knows, you might like it. And if you like music and theater too, I think you're gonna like today's theme. There are numerous Pokemon out there that are centered around their use of sound or their immunity to it. I want to build around the concept of using sound-based moves, which is a concept that has come up many times over the years in the Pokemon YouTuber scene. So now that you know the theme, where's our gym? This gym is in a very large city. It's a bustling metropolis with sports teams, active nightlife, theater districts, and many concert halls. It's kind of similar to Nimbasa City if you're looking for that Pokemon World connection. However, being that this gym is sound-based, it only makes sense for our gym to be in the largest of venues, the City Opera House. And the gym leader is the star of the show. You, the fantastic trainer with 7 badges in your hand, enter into the Opera House and notice the stage. The traditional large red curtains, the giant lights, the main stage, it's all very typical of what you would find in an opera house. Most notably, however, the area is dark, as most theaters tend to be. The only thing that you can really see is the stage where all the lights are pointing and the little bit of light it casts out from there. However, if you look down at the stage, you can see me, the gym leader, standing there, so you try to make your way down towards the stage. Unfortunately for you, there are a ton of obstructions that make getting down to the stage a little bit harder. The rows of seats, the railings down the aisle, but most importantly, the ladders that are in the way because they're doing some construction getting ready for the show tonight. Your task to make it down to the stage is to navigate through the aisles, moving the ladders out of the way. It's kind of similar to Maylene's gym in Veilstone City, but once you clear out the ladders, you'll be able to walk down to the stage. Additionally, as you're going around, you're gonna have to fight the different ushers and the security guards who are hidden in the darkness, waiting for you to stop you from getting up on stage. And once you beat the last security guard, you'll be able to come up on stage and battle me. Who are you? You reply, of course, having been asked a question, because, you got manners. I see. So you are the so-called star everyone's been talking about. Sorry, pal. But unfortunately, this is my stage. And there's only room for one star to shine brightly. And so the battle starts, and my first Pokemon is Noivern. My Noivern has the ability Infiltrator, which allows it to hit you through screens, substitute, and protect, rendering any type of scouting or defenses useless. This Noivern is actually shiny. It is the one that I caught in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. If you want to check out the clip for that, I did put it at the beginning of one of the episodes. I'll link that episode right now. My Noivern is also holding the Focus Sash to give it 2 turns on the field. Noivern also has the nature Timid, which boosts its speed just a little bit while taking away some of its attacking power, but that's fine because Noivern is a special attacker using the moves Boom Burst, Draco Meteor, Tailwind, and Hurricane. Now, the reason I gave it the Focus Sash should be fairly obvious at this point. It's because I want to get up a Tailwind. In fact, I kinda need to guarantee that the Tailwind is up for my second Pokemon. If Noivern can stay on the field longer and dish out some mega strong attacks, that's fine, but the last thing Noivern does has to be set up the Tailwind. I need the Tailwind up when Noivern goes down because my second Pokemon is Screamtail. Screamtail might seem like a strange choice to go with my second Pokemon, being that it's a Paradox form, but once I explain, I'm sure it's going to make a lot more sense. When you look at Screamtail's stats, it's not really all that strong offensively, but when the booster energy activates Screamtail's ability, it is going to raise its speed. Having the booster energy raise my speed essentially gives me a temporary choice scarf without the drawback of being locked into one move. Screamtail can then take advantage of its booster energy, the tailwind, and its naturally high speed to make it the fastest Pokemon in the metagame. Plus, Screamtail is just naturally bulky, making it a little bit harder to take off the field. It seems like a lot of hoops to have jumped through, but I've essentially now given Screamtail the ability Prankster. Screamtail now has the ability to maybe encore you into a first turn fake out that you can no longer use. Screamtail also has the ability now to use fake tears and lower your special defense by 2 stages every time. So even if you do manage to take Screamtail down, the odds are you've had your special defense lowered maybe 2 or 3 times at this point. That kind of forces you into having to switch out on the next Pokemon. Because if you don't, now you're sitting at less than 33% of your normal special defense. And if for some reason you've decided to bring the move Taunt and you try to taunt Screamtail, I can always just go for a couple of Dazzling Gleams for that little bit of chip damage. Sidebar, if you're a competitive Pokemon player and you're not using Screamtail, I don't really know why, because it just seems absolutely nutty. This build specifically I found in this video by Louche. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm going to leave it down in the description below. Go show him some love. I definitely did not steal it word for word from what he did. His build that he made for Screamtail is just absolutely nuts, and I want to credit him for that. On the off chance that you don't decide to switch out after having your special defense lowered 2 or 3 or 4 times, I'm going to bring in my next Pokemon, which is Skeletor. This fire crocodile is one of my new favorites in Pokemon, and it's got some pretty solid gimmicks that we can take advantage of. Skeletor only has 2 abilities at its disposal, the normal Blaze, but also the way better ability, Unaware. A Pokemon with the ability Unaware ignores the stat changes of opposing Pokemon, but this only applies to attack, special attack, accuracy, and evasion, meaning the special defense drops I just made are still in play. So that means you either gotta switch around your Pokemon to clear out your stat changes, or you have to just plow through and take the L on your Pokemon. Either way, I'm able to just start spamming Torch Song, which is going to raise my special attack by 1 stage every time I use it. I've also thrown the Assault Vest onto Skeletor to make it a little trickier to take down, and it has the moves Shadow Ball, Earth Power, and Hyper Voice at its disposal. But you will take down my buddy Fuecocomelon, and I will bring in my 4th Pokemon, Primarina. Primarina is one of my favorite starter Pokemon. I don't care what you say, it's cool, it's strong, and I'm going to kick your butt with it. Primarina has the ability Liquid Voice, which turns all sound type moves into the water type. Primarina is holding the Mystic Water, which powers up all water type moves, meaning that in pairing it with Liquid Voice and Hyper Voice is now getting boosted by my Mystic Water. I've also paired it with the moves Psychic, Moonblast, and Ice Beam just to cover all of my bases. Unfortunately, Primarina never got a good way to deal with an electric type Pokemon, so that's probably how you'll have to deal with it. But that's no matter, because my 5th Pokemon is Rillaboom. That's right, we're going heavy on the starters today. Rillaboom is just disgustingly good. If you've played competitive Pokemon at all, you know how good this Pokemon is. In fact, it was one of the top Pokemon in the Pokemon Sword and Shield metagame. Its access to Grassy Glide and the ability Grassy Surge makes it a force to be reckoned with even after the Grassy Glide nerf. And now, unfortunately for you, it is a force for you to reckon with because it's the exact set that I'm using. Grassy Surge, Adamant, Choice Band, Rillaboom. With Grassy Glide, Knockoff, Drain Punch, and Drum Beating. It just kind of wreaked havoc for 3 years in the metagame, and now it's going to wreak havoc on your team too. But of course, you will find a way to defeat my Rillaboom, forcing me into my final Pokemon, Komodo. The scaly Pokemon Komodo is the pseudo-legendary of the Alola region for Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, meaning that its stats are actually the highest for every Pokemon in this gym. All of Komodo's attack and defense stats are above 100, making this a very powerful foe. Unfortunately for Komodo, it has a weakness to flying and a quad weakness to fairy. However, this is covered by Komodo's moveset of Clinging Scales, Drain Punch, Rock Slide, and Poison Jab. With this moveset, Komodo actually has coverage for every type that it is weak to. But wait, there's more. Komodo, show them how our heart sings. I say as I activate my Z-Band with the Commonium Z on it, turning Clanging Scales into Clangorous Soul Blaze. Clangorous Soul Blaze does a base 185 damage, plus it gives Komodo an Omni boost when used. For your sake, I hope you have a Fairy type Pokemon out on the field, but if you do, I probably just use Poison Jab instead of using my Commonium Z. But if you don't have a Fairy type out on the field, you're tanking this Clangorous Soul Blaze. I hope you don't let me use this move, or else you might be in trouble. But for the last time, you take out my Pokemon, meaning you are victorious. Fine. I guess you have some talent as a trainer. Maybe there is space on stage for a supporting cast after all. I hand you the TM for Hyper Voice and your gym badge, and with that, you've officially beaten the Pokemon Challenge. So unfortunately, that means that this is the 8th and final episode of this series. Or is it? I'm happy to say that there will be another 5 episodes of this series, because that's right, we are moving on to the Elite Four and the Champion Battle. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss that. Now before we go, I know I excluded some pretty notable Pokemon from this gym, so I did want to give my reasoning as to why I didn't include them. I haven't done this yet in the series, but I figured with this being a more talked about idea, being the sound type, I owed it to you guys to explain my reasoning for things. First things first, I did exclude Toxtricity because he's quad weak to ground and doesn't really have any coverage to make up for it. If he got moved like Surf or Liquidation, I might have considered it, but my only option was an air balloon for 1 turn before you would then pop it, so I just didn't love the idea of having Toxtricity. I did exclude Wigglytuff because I have Screamtail. I excluded Chatot because it's a Chatot. I excluded Exploud because I didn't love the moveset. I actually did have Exploud in this gym for a while, but I didn't love the moves that I could give it. And I excluded Obstagoon because I just don't like Obstagoon. I think that the team that I built here was just the best, most competitive team that I could come up with. So next week, we will be starting the Elite Four, and it's going to be Legend, wait for it, Dairy. Be sure to check out last episode right here and the whole playlist right here. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Ethan, this is HardCap Games, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.